Yeah, boy, what's up, YouTube? This is Kenneth, back again with another Vanguard Zero video ranked fight with the deck that I'm most excited about ever since I began playing the game, the Blade Wing Rage deck. If you haven't caught my last video when it comes to pack opening of the new set Cavalry of Black Steel, do check out it and the links below. This is the deck that I came up with after a couple of games with this archetype. We're going to be playing 3 ranked games with this particular list. And as you can see in this particular deck that I have here for you guys is this. This is a Reijy focus deck. So we are focused on getting the 3 criticals with him after achieving 15 cards in Soul. This is somewhat a much different take on that particular archetype because we have included Edelrose as our grade 3 inclusion on our lineup, and with Edelrose of course will be 4 copies of Werewolf Ziga. The explanation of which is, since we are a somewhat combo deck, a combo deck needs the pieces to work together, and that's why this will be somewhat useful in getting Reijy to the point that he is a win condition with that 15 cards in Soul. I will be further explaining the card choices that I have within the game. I'll also create a dedicated video for a deck profile for this particular Reijy deck for Dark Irregulars. Let's go on with the particular games. I'll show you how powerful this particular deck is, especially with a Gold Paladin Limit Break era dominate format. So we're now here with our game 1. This time we are facing a Shadow Paladin deck. We're going first. This is of course terrific news so that we can set up early to beat the opponent early as well. So we have Reijy already in hand. Only need 1 copy. Of the Dimension Creeper because we need more choices the moment that we ride Reijy in grade 3. Okay. So I'm going to ride the Dimension Creeper, so it's gonna be a +1 more on our soul count ladder. So charge 1. Another reason to why we are running the Hades carriage is due to the fact that we need an alternative win condition just in case Reijy will not push through. As you guys know, the Hades carriage is plus 2000k power. Hades carriage is 2k power for each copy of it in the soul, and it will get a +1 critical if you have 3 or more the same copy. So Demon Chariot is our trigger earlier. So we are going to be playing with 2 yellow bolts. What we're actually going to do is to tuck away one of the demon carriages on the back row. This is gonna be our go-to target for Reijy's skill. I'm going to open up another back row space with one of my yellow bolts. So at this point, we're already 5 souls in, with 3 more copies of the Hades carriage on the deck. That's plus 4 soul with the raid 2 ride and the 3 cards going to the soul. That's 9, plus the Vengeance Creeper, that's 10, plus 2 with 2 bolts, so we're down to 12. We just need one of those Emblem Masters. We can enable Reijy's critical as early as turn 3. If we're going to use Reijy on the Hades carriage, you will notice that there will be no more copies of the card on the deck. That's why that is where the chariot will come into play. So that's a heal, and it will not let the main attack us. So we're gonna continue as planned, even without the critical on Reijy yet. We're still good due to the fact that we can work with our yellow bolts. So for later, we will have more soul. So with the added dimension creeper on the particular soul, which I will actually enable if we chain the dimension creeper to more copies, that will be good news for us. So it's gonna be scheduled for next turn, our critical on Reijy. So you always use Edelrose last, so that you can make sure that the trigger will be left. And since our Hades carriage is already 20k, we'll make sure it will hit Lesser Dark. And also the fact that this particular list, the Shadow Paladin list, is not running Limit Break, you can safely move the opponent to 4 damage. So even if they heal, Reijy will still be lethal next turn if they don't have their perfect guard on hand. So with the carriage and the chariot, it is interesting to see that we are the same deck count with opponent, 20 each. That's how good Game Studio made this particular deck, making sure that the Dark Regulars deck on a 40 card format will not deck out so easily. We no longer have any carriage, so this is the last time we will see the carriage. It already did its job. Let's see what the opponent will come up with. We are, of course, no damage currently. We're in the driver's seat right now. and with the looming threat of Reijy later. So far so good. In this particular first outing of our deck. As long as the opponent stop putting in the intercepts and also not heal as much as we would like to, we can definitely win this particular game. Interesting that they are running Spectral Dip without the Reijy. I'm gonna skip the ride. I'm actually going to save the No Life King. The Shadow Paladin player, our opponent, no longer has counterblasts. So unless he cross rides and then Persona Blast, he will not be in any danger of another crit. So the opponent rode a Phantom Blaster Overlord, an SP to boot. See if the opponent has a particular Persona Blast that they're fearing early. So that's one perfect guard down from our opponent. Now it seems that they have the critical. Our only saving grace here is if I chain a draw trigger to a perfect guard. That's for not. Here comes the critical. It's a shame that we're doing so fine. We ended up at this point of the game. This is a loss for us. As you can see, the setup this particular deck is enough so that you can run the Edelrose Zigger lineup, the Wolf Boy. We're moving into the second game. Hopefully we can have the critical online as soon as the ride from Reijy happens, because usually it's the next turn that it actually happens, unless you have a good roll with the Emblem Masters of the world. So let's move on to the second game. So we're back on our game number 2, this time against Toshiki Kai with the Narukami list. This one will be a bit tricky due to the fact that our Yell Bolts the ones that we are hoping to net us the soul charge that we need, will be sniped down by the opponent's starter. But at this point, it seems that a yellow bolt will be able to soul charge at least 2 times, so that's good. Another good thing to why I like Edel Rose in this particular list, now as a draw trigger, cards, grade 3 cards that is not Reijy can go back to the deck or populate the deck with more trigger effects. This is something that I grew to love way back when I was using the Spike Brothers list we were trying a couple of weeks ago. I forgot to soul charge. My bad. Oh no. Oh no. We'll make sure that our Emblem Master's attack hits. I'm not going to risk running the Seeger first. What I did also wrong there is, now that surely the start of the opponent's Saishin will be sniping the yellow bolt, I could have put Seeger on the other wing. Couple of misplays on our part. Not sure if we can recover from this, but let's try. What we can actually do is to prolong this particular step. We can keep the Emblem Master on hold. I will not ride Reijy deck. I will not ride Reijy just yet. This is one of the reasons why Emblem Master is such an important card in this particular deck list. We're now 9 souls in, adding the Emblem Master right now, plus at least 2 cards netting off from Reijy's skill. We'll be able to 15 souls already. And if my calculation were not accurate, we can use our Emblem Master still on hand to make sure that happens. That's an interesting card to have, the 10k booster on the Vanguard. Personally, I would already consider that as overkill. How many? One yellow bolt, one Zigger. So we're opting into the yellow bolt, because we need the intercepts. The more the merrier. And we're now in the business of populating the deck. More cards to not deck out now. With this particular counter blast, we're now 15k. Interesting, the soul charge of field trigger. That's fine, that's how Dark Regulars work. Operate. Even so, we still got the field trigger, which is perfect news. So there's the perfect guard. We are going to deny the opponent the ability to limit break unless they have the self-damager. I'm going to pin down one of the columns so that the opponent needs to commit more cards on the field. We're only now 9 cards in. How many Hades chariot do we have? Hades carriage rather. So far, we can go in for the long game. Clearly the opponent does not have enough counterblast for another sweep. Skip the ride. Line up another carriage in the back row. This is the damage denial that Reijy was designed for way back when he was first released. If you are limit break, Reijy will circumvent that. So we're just gonna dwindle the opponent's ability to attack us back on his next turn. And if the opponent shows us an opening, whereas if they would not leave any intercepts, I will ride my second Reijy on hand to make one of my carriage have 2 crits, so that we have 2 methods in defeating the enemy. So that's quite cheeky of the opponent to intercept. Hopefully that is the last perfect guard last turn that we handled. One of the glaring weaknesses of the particular deck with the Reijy is the lack of utilization of the counterblast. That's why some run Amon as the backup Vanguard. I do not find it or find him as necessary as the Arrow Rose to fuel the cards on our hand. No need to commit to the play I thought of earlier. That will only deck us out if we continue on that route. Let's see if the opponent has that third and last perfect guard. We saw one on the last drive check. There are none. Wow. That is a shocking development. A 6 damage heal on the clutch there. Whoa. Didn't expect that. Still have a 1 out of 4 chance to heal. Because we have kept 2 perfect guards on hand. Wow. What a shocking development. Let me tell you, I love this game. So let's see if we can do the same to our opponent. Heal on the last damage. Because it's gonna be such an anime ending if that does happen. Such a shame. It was close. Another loss for our deck. But as you can see, the games were so close. On the knife's edge. One more hit, or if the heal did not come through, our deck performed to what was expected. So we are now on our third and final game. So far, I'm giving the Reijy deck the service by not getting a dub. Let's turn that around, right? Let's make sure that we can flip the script, as they say. I'm with the liberty to keep more cards on hand by being the second turn player. Then we're looking for Emblem Master to fill in our need for soul charging. And what a better ending to have Tetsu face against Kamui, right? Let's get this particular anime vibe going for us, right? It's always good. We're fighting a perfect riser deck. So it's critical against critical at this point. I like the matchup. And since we have the Alluring Succubus as our ride, we have leeway in developing our options for Reijy. So we Soul Charge first, there's the Zigger, then go with Idle Rose. There's the draw triggers, so far so good. It's developing as we would like to. Right now we drew the second Dimension Creeper. It's not that bad yet, due to the fact that 2 Dimension Creepers going to the soul is better than 3 yellow bolts. You will have a positive +1, so when that does happen, another good thing that came out of this particular sequence of turns is that we drew one of the Emblem Masters. That will be crucial for us. Now somehow the opponent's deck, I forgot to mention, turned to a Brule Jack plus Humpty Dumpty grade 2. Huh. Interesting, to say the least. We'll bolster our defenses by riding the 10k Vanguard. Put in Emblem Master on the side. We can Soul Charge right now with Yellow Bolt. Let's not repeat the same mistakes that we did earlier now. I should have not committed this much, but since I was getting draw triggers left, right, and center, pretty sure I can commit more to this. As long as the opponent does not gain a trigger. Never punished. So that's 3 additional cards on Soul. We're now to 7. Let's see what is the makeup of our particular Soul. 2 Chariots, 2 heal triggers. It's not a good thing to see. Right now, Miss Splendor, huh? So more reason why you do not want to lose this particular matchup. You do not want to lose to a deck that, fair enough to say, hasn't pulled the necessary cards yet to make a highly competitive one. The deck does have triple rares, don't get me wrong. Do we still have the Sager? No. Regardless. Like I mentioned, we can continue with putting the Dimension Creeper here. Let's add more triggers and more cards to put to the soul. That's fine. I was hoping to bank in another chariot, but that's okay. Perfect guards. So we're not gonna be guarding anytime soon, huh? So we're going to do the play where let's make the chariot end the game for us. We weren't able to reach the goal for 15 cards and so for Reijy though. That's a bummer. We can ride the other Reijy to make that happen. We had a hodgepodge somewhat interesting cards on it, so we are 3 damage in. Not sure if the opponent can deal us the lethal. They can try. Just not sure if that does happen. And they also need to take care of the chariot. So it's like a pseudo intercept. Wow, the opponent is now running the particular rear guards to my grade 3 rear guard. So basically it's like I have intercepts. Let's see if they will hit the chariot as expected. It's decked in. Let's see if the opponent has another perfect card on hand though. I'm not really sure about that. So that's the critical. It's a dub for our Reijy deck. So in the narrative sense, that's what did beat Kamui. Not in the manner that I would hope to. But I hope that you guys enjoy me running this particular list. I hope I highlighted one of my most favorite clan in the game, Dark Irregulars. Of course, I will not stop here. I will continue using this particular list for rank. If you have any comment suggestions or any reactions about what this particular deck or your experiences against the deck, do share those in the comments down below. And once again, this is Kinnet. See you back in Fray the next video. Ciao.